Right, I believe we're live. Welcome to the Nerdy Footballers podcast. A little bit of a different setup today. We are still in the same room, we're just sat opposite each other, B-Dog.
You just want to look at me this time.
Well, I feel like it's awkward because when we normally record, we're sat next to each other, so I'm either not looking at you while I'm talking to you, or I'm looking at you and ignoring the camera.
Yeah.
I think the podcasts that I get engaged with the most are this kind of thing. So, yeah, and welcome aboard. If you joined us for the draft, we do apologise.
Straight in with the bad.
It didn't quite go exactly how we'd planned it to go, but
It did. It just fell from grace far too soon.
yeah. I mean, we did exactly what we said we were going to do.
Juice included.
Juice included. I feel like we're having a little bit of an issue on TikTok.
No.
I don't believe we are live on there.
Some technical difficulties.
Some technical difficulties, so I don't really know.
I don't have a screen. I mean, we can't even input the technical difficulties. Static TV logo from the 70s.
Yeah, we'll have to. It is what it is. We're on YouTube, here we are. So today, going through the draft class B-Dog, obviously we sat and watched the first round together. A few shocks, probably where we didn't see them. A few of us guessed shocks and got them wrong. But these ones, I don't really think many people would have saw coming.
Hey, I got mine right. Shador wasn't gone in the first.
Or the second.
Or the second.
Or the third.
The third.
The fourth he went in, wasn't it?
Yeah, 144. He went 144.
Yeah, jeez. But yeah, God bless him. We'll talk a little bit about Shador. We're gonna go through the NFL's grading of the teams, see which drafts we liked, see which picks we like, and the ones that we didn't like. Straight off the bat, though, B-Dog, before we look at what the NFL are saying, who's your favourite draft class?
Of all time?
No, the weekend just gone. We had a little bit of a conversation about it at football last night. I've got a top 3 teams that have the best draft. What's your input?
I mean, obviously biased. I like the Cowboys. Obviously, we had 2 good picks in the second and third that could have been first rounders, which was a good fall from us and a good reach from us. Again, it wasn't so much picking the best player.
Yeah.
It was filling and fitting a player that's needed, which was good for a change.
Yeah.
And it was also nice not to see us trade back, which was nice.
Yeah.
We don't get that very often. To be honest, I like the Giants one.
What, with the trade up for
Jackson Dart, I do like that. I mean, I know now they've got 4 QBs and that QB room is going to be mental. I reckon it'll be one of the funnest in the league to be in. But no, I did like the Chargers. The Chargers started off strong with Hampton and Trey Harris. I think those were 2 good picks that filled 2 of their offensive needs straight away. Obviously, Harbaugh likes to run that rock, and now he's got 2 power backs to run that rock.
I was going to say, does it not kind of just epitomise what Michigan was?
Yeah.
It's just exactly
And then
that.
he's got himself a big physical receiver now as well. You know, they had Quentin Johnson for that.
Yeah.
It didn't go to plan a little bit. He's a bit hot and cold some games, but obviously now they've got.
Well, I'll tell you what. We'll go through. While we're talking about Chargers, because I've got them all up here.
Okay, so I liked. Obviously, they had Long McConkey last year in the second.
They did.
And then they've got Trey Harris in this round, and they've got themselves the physical body receiver, the slot guy. Joshua Palmer's still the deep threat, but I think he's on a contract year this year, so interesting to see if he signs.
So it's one of my things, probably because I'm the Patriots and that's the way we've done it for about 50 years. I don't like teams that like their main receiver's the slot guy, and I get that in some systems that works perfectly, but there's now better than just like a big outside like go to if you're 3rd and 10, big outside go to guy. I love that. We are on TikTok.
Happy days.
We're working, we're going. I don't know how well we're going, but we are going.
We're ticking.
We're ticking and we're talking. So Los Angeles Chargers is kind of going out the order that we were going to do them in, but while we were talking about it, Marion Hampton, Trey Harris, Jamari Caldwell, Kyle Kennard, Kendra Lambert-Smith, Aronde Gadsden II, Branson Taylor, RJ Mickens, trick Wayze Bridges, I'm not going to tell you that I know who the last 3 of them are.
So RJ Mickens, safety at Clemson. I think that's a nice one to
Yeah,
pair up
that's
with.
right, yeah.
To pair up with Derwin James. I like Cal Kennard. He was at South Carolina, I think, outside pass rusher.
Right,
So I like him. I think he's a
I liked him
big
growing
tall. He's going to be a nice little replacement for Bosa in some way. I think it's what they're trying to get him at.
I think because I'm sure did I go edge in the first round for them? I think my guess was edge first round for them. The NFL have them A minus. Anyways, I know you said when I asked you what your favourite draft class was, you said you were being biased, and you said the Cowboys. I completely agree with you. The conversation we had last night was with Alex, that we were there with, who's a Seahawks fan, and obviously I'm a Patriots fan. And it came about because I genuinely think them 3 teams had the best 3 drafts.
Yeah.
I think if you talk about teams that have hit the players exactly when they needed them without reaching them, sometimes getting them for unreal value, but covering every need they have as well.
Yeah.
I think them 3 teams done the best they can out of all 32 teams. I think them 3 teams had the best draft. There's arguments that you can say the Giants, the Falcons, I really like them, but did they only have 5 picks or something?
Yeah, well, they moved up, didn't they, into the
But 2 edge rushers, they needed an edge rusher.
Well, a lot of people said they overcorrected their mistake from last year, didn't they, by picking up 2 when they should have picked up 1 last year as well.
The only issue I had with the Falcons was, yes, address edge rusher, you need edge rusher. Get 2 if you want, why not? But they did not trade the first next year to move back up to 26.
So.
What are you doing?
It's one of those, isn't it? Like you said, they were desperate to move back up. I mean, yeah, they got a good one in Jalen Walker, who wasn't expected to fall that far at 15, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And then coming back in to get JPJ, who, you know, like Mike Green, a few people said he had off-field issues that potentially was a bit of an issue for him. But, you know, he's going to Atlanta. It's nice. It's warm. Should be all right there, I think.
Yeah, the Mike Green one's interesting because I was really high on him.
Yeah,
I don't know how, but I didn't hear about the I'd not heard about that, and I was like on the night, he's sliding here. I don't really understand, and then it comes out and it's was it the Ravens he went to?
Yeah, Baltimore, big 59, I think it was.
They took a safety in the pass rusher, Christ. But and then it was like, they took him despite this, and fair enough. I mean, I don't know when it was. I've just heard that's what happened.
Yeah, well, there's good. It's come out quite a few. It's quite a few, isn't there, in this draft? I mean, the big ones, Isaiah Bond.
Yeah, I'm sure Luther Burden had a kind of questionable thing. For me, Pats, Cowboys, Seahawks. We'll quickly go through them all.
Yep.
But before we do that, I'll tell you what. Not before we do, comments. Matt, obviously in the chat. Matt, good to see you again, my friend. Pleasure hosting you last week. Before you went nuts. For those that were in the stream last week when we were watching the draft, producer Matt we went a little bit too hard and heavy with the juice.
Yeah.
Bit hard and heavy with the juice. He did officially get cancelled, which has thrilled him.
He got officially cancelled?
Matt's been cancelled. I don't know if he's been cancelled off anyone but me, but I have cancelled him.
Okay.
I have cancelled him. Really quickly, if you're on TikTok, I apologise, it does keep freezing. I don't know why, but I'm trying to sort it out. But yeah, Matt in the chat, no controversial comments from me this week. Great. Mike Echo. Ooh, really?
Is it from mine?
I don't know. Right, tell you what, I'm going to turn them both down. See if he was producing like he's supposed to be. I'm going to turn them down a little bit, and then hopefully this sorts it out a little bit. I wonder if it's because we're not this close. I don't know what it is, but here we are. Is that echo any better, Matt? Please let us know if you can. Kins in the chat, good evening. Kins, welcome aboard, mate. Pleased to see you. Right, should we go alphabetically? Because that's how the NFL website's got
You
them.
would have been alphabetically. I'm happy with the alphabet.
Sounds like it's more from Kev's. Can you adjust the gear or anything? Let me have a look. Right, it's that one. Is it that one? Yes. Just give me a second. Oh, it's because it's so close.
Yeah, so while you're sorting out that,
Yeah.
I'll just drift into Shador a little bit.
Yes.
Like I said, 144, round 4 to the Browns, dropped, and was he not the 6th overall QB taken? I believe it was. I think there was 6 before him.
It was Ward, Dart,
Slaw,
yeah,
Milrow, Gabriel,
Gabriel, and then
Shador.
Shador.
I think it was a lot of. I don't think it was so much to do with his talent.
It was his attitude.
I think what I've seen quite a bit of is not confirmed, but a few people saying they were scared of taking Shador, it not working out, and being replaced by Deion Sanders as head coach.
Yeah.
I've seen that's apparently something that's rumoured to be going around as well, which you can understand. I mean, it's one of those. Shador's obviously coached at Colorado now for 3 years. They've done pretty well. You know, they've had a second overall pick, arguably the best player in the draft there, in Travis Hunter.
Yes.
You know, Shador's gone into it. Shiloh got picked up by the Buccaneers.
Yeah, he did.
As a UDFA. Then they had the Jonte Webster go as well. They had some other players, I can't remember off the top of my head. But it is that sort of, do you take a player and if it doesn't go well halfway through the season, you're already thinking, my job's going into this guy.
Yeah. I think the risk of what could go wrong was possibly too high. Pointer players on TikTok, there was something about him that teams aren't telling us. I don't know if it's like a potential like scandal type thing, but what I think is what we've heard is the interviews were not good.
Yeah.
To what extent they were not good is, I think,
Again,
we don't
I've
know.
seen some rumours. It's stuff like, you know, my attitude is my attitude. I'm not going to change for you.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Stuff that, you know, realistically, you want players to have the attitude of, I'm the best. I'm going to play the best.
Yeah.
But we weren't in the interviews. We don't know what else has been said. We don't know how it came across. We don't know what part of the conversation it was.
The thing is, like, so if he's anything in his interviews like he is openly just on camera anyways, he's not a likeable person. That being said, it got to the point where I started to feel bad for him.
Well, in the way, like you said, it's not like a likeable person. It was like the Saints pick last year when they picked up Spencer Ridley.
Oh yeah,
Spencer Rattler. Something.
Yeah.
You watch some of his early stuff, and he's.
The difference is there, B-Dog, like, because Spencer Rattler was on that, was it a Netflix show or something like that, wasn't it? It was on like
QB1.
Yeah. But the difference is he was 16, 17 or something at the time.
Yeah.
Like, yes, he was a knob, but he's not Shadur's age 3 months ago still being...
No, I get it. But again, when was the last time you saw Spencer Rattler talk like that? Like, talk on camera? I can't remember the last time I've seen it. So maybe the attitude's there. Maybe he's learned after doing the QB1 situation.
Yeah. The issue with Rattler is he's just not that good, unfortunately. That's the problem. I'm not saying Shadur is, but Shadur for some reason thinks he is because of who his dad is. And he seems to have this, well, my last name's Sanders, so like people just hate me anyway, so I may as well be... No, people hate you because you've been a knob. And your dad was a knob. Unreal football player. Still a knob though, you know.
Yeah, that was the walk the walk, talk the talk, though, wasn't it? He could do both.
Yeah.
Shador, I think, still needs to prove
Well, this
himself.
is the issue. Yeah, this is the issue. You're still kind of riding your dad's coattails a little bit. It'll be interesting to see how it develops. I wonder how much the Browns picking him was a value thing or the owner saying pick him. Because I don't know if you've seen the clip of like the war room when they picked him.
Yeah.
And they're just like, it doesn't look like a happy...
No, I get that, but we'll have to find out, wait and see. The season's...
Look,
There's still months
in this draft, he was supposed to be a first-round quarterback, and you got him in the 4th. You know, it's questionable after you already took one. Yes.
I know, but again, that QB room I think was one of the weakest.
There's about 5 of them in there now, though, haven't there?
Yeah, obviously it was like they picked up Flacco, traded for Pickett.
They've got Massage still.
Yeah, and now you've got Dylan Gabriel, you've got Shador. Again, did they maybe think and see what you guys did last year? Taking May and Milton.
The thing is, though, did that really work any? Oh, juices all over the floor here.
I mean, it did work in some sense, because think about it, you did get a 5th round pick for that quarterback you picked up in the 6th. So...
No, we got a 5th round pick, but traded with... We slightly won.
Yeah.
You traded us the 6th. No, you traded us the 5th, and we give you our 6th.
Yeah.
And Joe...
Right. Would you trade 2 6 for a 5th, though?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, so...
Probably, but...
That's the way you got to look at it, really, is pick value. So I think that was good. But again, going on Shador and in his interviews, obviously we don't know what happened, but not a lot of teams agreed with it. Did you see what Jalen Milroe said in his interviews?
What did Jalen Milroe say? Because this is...
Is this news to you?
This is news to me.
So they asked Jalen Milroe, like, like, what are your strengths? Do you have any weaknesses? And he went, of course I've got weaknesses. I'm coming out of college. Like, if you have an interview with a person and he tells you they haven't got a weakness, they're lying.
He's lying, yeah.
We've all got stuff to work on.
See, I said to you last night at football, I fancy Jalen Milroe to be the best out of this group, purely because the way that the NFL's going. I mean, I joked and said, like, the problems when he throws the ball, which it is, he's potentially unbelievable if he can just get on time and be accurate. No one's asking him to have like a cannon for an arm, but kind of like Lamar, I've kind of stood by for a long time that Lamar can't throw the ball. I was wrong, right? Lamar can throw the ball. Not to the same level as probably 10 other guys in the league, but he can throw the ball enough to get by with the assets he's got on the ground. And if Jalen Milroe can get to that point, he'll be absolutely fine, because the potential for him to just run over teams like Lamar does, it's there, eh?
It is.
It's there.
It is the way the league's going now, to have that dual threat, technical improviser, scrambler quarterback.
Yeah, exactly.
They can do a bit of both when you need them to. But no, I mean, he was at Alabama for a reason.
Well, this is it. Mac Jones was at Alabama. To be fair, this is what I'm saying with Mac, though. Like, with Jalen Milroe, Mac didn't have a strong arm. He didn't have a particularly fast ball, or he couldn't throw it deep or anything.
Couldn't run.
But he was on time and he could read the defence. If you can get to that level, you'll be fine.
Well,
Mac Jones's problem was that's all he had.
Yeah.
And he got found out, and then he started getting booed by fans, and the coach didn't like him, and it was messy for him.
But that's it. I think quite a few teams this year have honestly, when, like last year, the Falcons took Michael Penix, and we all went, "What's this? This is the worst thing ever. You've just paid this." Is this something that they're looking at now? Like, is other teams starting to realise, oh wow, you can't just throw in any rookie quarterback in the fair that you pick up and expect them to play well?
So one thing I've seen a few times, it was leading up to the draft, and even since, because we've took up a free agent quarterback. So there's an argument that says you should draft a quarterback every year.
Yeah.
Is it because depends where, because you are wasting a pick, but is it for potential value? Is it because
you never know,
one of them might be that fifth round revelation?
You look at it. You could probably pick a round over the time there's been the NFL draft. You could pick a round and probably name 3 to 5 unreal QBs from every single round, so it could come from anywhere.
Yeah. Well, Dak was a 4th round pick, wasn't he?
Dak was a 4th.
Russell Wilson was a 3rd.
Yeah.
Brady, obviously 6th, 199.
Purdy was the last pick in the draft.
Purdy,
it can come from anywhere.
It does happen.
But that's why it's worth it at the end of the day. Say if you pick a quarterback every year, by the time you come back around again and you've got 4 quarterbacks, say you've had them all 4 years, if no one's playing well, you don't have to extend that 5th year. So it's a good business decision. But saying again, going back to the Falcons thing, picking up Penix to sit behind Kirk Cousins for a year, I think teams are starting to realise now a little bit that you can't just throw in a starter QB, which is why when you look at it now, so the Browns, they've got Kenny Pickett, but they've got Joe Flacco.
Yeah, exactly.
which rookies can sit behind for a year
And
and
did
learn.
you not nearly take them to the playoffs the year before last?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was throwing absolute bullets and 3-4.
It was like Ravens Flacco all over
I
again.
know. And then you look at the Seahawks. They've brought Sam Darnold might not be considered one of the best, but last year he went off on that Vikings offense. So
yeah, he did.
now you're putting him in Seattle, and then you can have Milrose sit behind him and learn a bit more from him there.
What'll be interesting about that point, B-Dog, the Lions enthusiast, I do see your chat on TikTok. I'll get to it in a second, mate. What's interesting about you pulling up Darnold is when JJ McCarthy plays this year, who sat behind him all year last year, what's going to be the difference? Well, I mean, we'll never know what he would have been like if he'd just stepped in and played.
Yeah.
But it's going to be interesting to see like how far he's came.
That's something, though, isn't it? That injury could have made
could have been the best thing for him.
Exactly, could have made him. Could have that time to sit, watch an actual game now in the NFL from the sidelines, review footage in a room, could give him everything he needs to go out there and wow year two. Mahomes sat for a year behind Smith, and
Jordan Love sat.
Aaron
Rodgers sat behind Brett Favre.
It's worth sitting QBs for a year.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate for the likes of Cam Ward, who you know is probably going to get the start over Will Levis straight away. Jackson Dart might start over famous Jameson Russell.
I think Russell starts, to be honest.
We don't know. That's it. We have to see how the OTAs and the camp score. But go on, I'll let you get to
Right, Lions enthusiast believes Cam Ward is a bust. So my thing with I'm not going to say who's a bust or who's not because
it's too early.
If this was Tom Brady's draft year, you'd guess he was going to be nothing.
Yeah.
Dak Prescott fourth round.
Yeah.
Russ Wilson third round. I know that the term bust comes with drafting in the first round, but is it not hard to be not called a bust? Like to be not a bust when you're drafting the first round, you have to be like a really, really good quad. Do I think it's that? No, probably not.
No.
But I also don't think if this class, and I've said it before, was in last year's draft class, none of them would have went in the first round anyways.
Yeah.
Cam Ward would have been a second round pick. Shedeur should have been a second round pick. The 6 that went in the first round last year, in my opinion, are better than Cam Ward.
Yeah, but again, even looking back at Caleb Williams, everyone said he could be a bust. He's going to be a bust.
Yeah.
And
people still say it now.
And when you look at his actual stats on paper, when you just ignore some of the terrible plays,
it looks good. I mean,
it was a middle of the pack quarterback.
I loved hitting on him last year because I'm a Drake mate guy. But the guy had Matt Eberflus, who, Jesus Christ, bless him. And he had one of the
Matt Eberflus to the Cowboys.
He had one of the he had one of the worst offensive lines in football. Yep. He was getting blitzed every he was getting shot down as soon as he got the ball. Gavin, go Broncos. We'll get to the Broncos. The Broncos had one of my favourite picks actually, really quickly. Cornerback. Who?
You're talking about Jahad Barron.
Jahad Barron they took. That PS2 Jahad Barron backfield.
That's the mile. What is it? The no-fly zone again.
Yeah, man. They took a cornerback, and we were sat there and we were like, eh? Because we all thought running back, didn't we? Let's face it. We all thought running back, and we were like, what? And then it kind of dawned you the same argument that I had for the Giants taking Abdul Carter, even without the trade up from the Jags and stuff, was wrong. The argument I had for the Browns taking Abdul Carter was imagine Myles Garrett and Abdul Carter on the same line. This is the same thing that the Broncos done, but in the backfield. PS2, Barron. Let's wait and see.
And don't forget they've got some good players on that defense as well. They're one of the best.
They were one of the best defense in the leagues, in my opinion. I don't know if the statistics they probably do back that up. To be fair, but again, any kind of draft opinions, questions.
Throw them in.
To the best of what we've got, get them in the chat. We'll have a crack.
And then they did. I like the pick that I like, which was I can't remember his name all the time. Is it R.D. Harvey, the running back that they picked up in the third?
Oh right,
I think that was a good pick for them as well. There, he was a good back in the college.
Well, this is the thing. Like they were always going to take one, but we just kind of had them taking one higher.
Yeah, I think we sort of had them taking it because it was their most needed position. But again, when it comes to fit to most need, that's when you've got to balance
Second
it out.
round,
Second round,
RJ Harvey,
RJ Harvey.
The thing is as well, and we've said if this wasn't a draft class with Ashton Genty, Amari Hampton, De'Veon Henderson, who's now in the top 3 because as I said so. If it wasn't that the class was this kind of high going into the draft, generally it's not really a valuable position, running back.
Yeah.
It's not very often that running backs go really high. It's only because like the likes of Ashton Genty, who had more running yards after the contact in college last year than anyone else had, full stop.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that kind of view on running backs going into the draft inflated everyone's opinions of like the Broncos pick. Well, they'll take a running back because the class is that good.
Yep.
Realistically, like you said, round 2. Well, we know round 2 you can get a more than decent enough running back. Because the draft was that
Draft running back heavy.
heavy. It was the same with edge, D tackle. There's guys getting like edge and D tackles in the second and third round. And you're going, damn, like that's a steal.
Yeah.
But yeah, should we start getting through teams?
Yes.
Or is there anything else you would like to? Oh, one thing I would like to mention, B-Dog, is because we like to get on him a little bit. Karen Rodgers, man. The Puma Steelers, like the Steelers, so the teams are now coming into like OTAs, which is like official team activities.
Yeah.
I think it is just veterans, and obviously none of the rookies and that have to go in
not yet.
I don't think. But Karen Rodgers is basically holding the Steelers hostage without a quarterback because he knows they haven't got a quarterback. They've now not drafted a quarterback.
No, they did.
Oh,
Will Howard.
Sorry, they drafted Will Howard. Sorry, they've not drafted
the
first.
natty MVP.
They've not. This is the argument I made last night. Stop it. But they're not going to start him. Right. This is the kind of thing that you were talking about before. He's a perfect sit behind a Aaron Rodgers for a guy. Yes, he won a natty. He can play football, but the NFL is different.
Of course it is.
And I think that sitting behind an Aaron Rodgers could be ideal. But at this point, if you're the Steelers, better draft class next year. You've got a coach that keeps you over 100 every year, regardless of what happens. Do you not just go, you know what, mate? You can find somewhere else. We've drafted a quarterback. We'll give him a go.
Maybe.
Or the Giants, have got 63 quarterbacks. Do you want to give us one of Jameis or? Well, they're not going to take Russ. I'd take Jameis, man.
Maybe.
He's at least good fun.
Yeah.
You know?
Maybe so. We'll have to wait and see. Because like you said, there's still plenty of time for stuff to go on.
AJM07, stick to soccer. It's funny for him because it's called football. Just out of interest, mate. So he said 63 quarterbacks at the Giants. Are you crazy? That was sarcasm, mate. I do apologise. I thought it was obvious that I was being sarcastic. Obviously, they've not got 63 quarterbacks.
No, they've got the funnest four in the room.
On a 53-man roster, 63 quarterbacks. And before you start, I know it's 90 odd at this point of the season.
No, it's 90 in it. I think it's 91 if you've got an IPP.
Yeah, I'll stick to soccer though, mate. Right, cards. Walter Nolan first round.
I did like that.
Yeah, I did. Not where I thought they would go. I had them edge every day of the week, cards. But I think what we learnt fairly fast because of how quickly we had to knock the stream off last week was the first round this year was really hard to call.
Yeah, it was. It was.
I think we got to probably about 16, 17 before we were like, no, this is
Done.
This is not a good idea. Really quickly, the chat on YouTube. Matt, whatever you did, fix the chat, the echo, fantastic, because I've been rolling for about 20 minutes after doing it. Guy here. How are the Dolphins shaping up for the next term now the draft has concluded? Right, I'll tell you what, B-Dog, I'll give you this one because it would be bias if I did it. And I'll say no more.
Oh, I don't even know how the Dolphins are going to turn out, to be honest with you, this year. Obviously, Tyreek, I think still there's a lot of and ahhing about whether or not he's going to stay and sign again, or if they're looking to trade him away at 31 years old. Tua, as you know, your favourite mashed potato head player.
I've never once said that.
Hopefully now he can sit in the pocket. I can't even remember who the Dolphins drafted, I'll be honest with you. I was going to say, you got to tell me. I've got no computer now.
Yeah, sorry, man, I can get it up. I'm going to call you AJ in the chat just because I don't know how to pronounce your name. I don't want to be offensive. Are you from Florida? Why would it be biased? I'm a New England Patriots fan, mate. Same division. That's why it will be biased. The Miami Dolphins.
I remember they did pick up a running back.
I honestly cannot
I just
remember.
can't remember who they
Oh, yes, they took Kenneth Grant in the first round.
They took Kenneth Grant. They also picked up Ollie Gordon from OSU, which I really do like. I mean, he was fantastic in 2023. He was probably going into being the best running back. And then everything went downhill 2024 season.
This is where your technique of actually just watching college football rather than just hammer it for 3 months before the draft like I do becomes it kind of pays off a little bit.
Kenneth Grant, I think Michigan D tackle was one of the top 3 D tackles going into it. I think I like him. Big size, quick off the ball as well.
Yeah, man, beast. D tackle was another one of them where it could easily have been 4 or 5 of them in the first round if it wasn't actually. I don't actually.
No, we had Walter Nolan, Kenneth Grant. Then we also had who was the Oregon one? Hyman.
Yes.
Hyman.
Yeah.
But yeah, Kenneth Grant. He went in the second to the Dolphins.
First, number 13.
That was for Kenneth Grant, wasn't it?
Yes.
And then who was the other round picks?
Jonas Savainia.
Aye.
The guard. Jordan Phillips, D tackle.
Yeah, I like that one as well.
Jason Marshall, not sure to be honest. Dante Trader, safety. Ollie Gordon, your guy at running back. Quinn Ewers, the quarterback.
Oh, yeah.
Zeke Biggers, defensive tackle.
Yeah, so they really went defensive.
They went D tackle, man.
Because if you think about it, they lost Christian Wilkins. I think it was a season or 2 ago. He went to the Raiders. You know, Jordan Phillips constantly injured. They've got Chop Robinson as their main weapon on that D line now. He didn't get to play a lot last year, but when he did, he was one of the best players on the Dolphins line.
He was productive, man.
So
he was pure
your next target now is to give him more opportunities to get to the quarterback, because that's what his specialty is, by filling up that middle gap.
See, I would have just liked. I mean, they took a guard in the second. I would have liked more protection for Tua.
Well, you know, I can't remember how far Tua is now into his contract. I think he's 2 or 3 years into his big deal.
Mac Jones was 2021, I think. So Tua would have been 2020.
Yeah, so I'm sure he just signed.
Let me just Google it.
I'm sure he signed a big deal. It was either last year or the year before.
I think it was the year before.
Yeah.
I think it was the year before.
I think
it was before all the.
I think it was a 3 or 4 year deal. So I think he's coming up now.
2020, sorry. Yeah.
So he's now coming into that end of his contract. Quinn Ewers again. You know, he was a good quarterback at Texas. They did really well last year. Again, is it a case of sitting Quinn Ewers into that spot to sit behind Tua for a few years? Because again, like we said, you never know when a quarterback is going to have a flash.
I think Tua in particular could retire any game he plays in.
Well, saying that, there's just a quarterback just retired, not today or yesterday.
Yeah, it was in the chat.
Jordan Travis, FSU.
Yeah.
He had a bad leg injury. I think he was in college, and then he got drafted, and they've just told him it's in your best interest, and he's made a decision to retire without playing an NFL snap, which
it's unfortunate.
It's unfortunate, but
Jets gonna Jets. Keep telling you, man. Jets gonna Jets. In the chat again, our guy. What made me pick the Pats? Madden 03. Basically, went the best team. It's got England in the name as well, so you know there you go.
terrible choice.
Hey, it is what it is. Do you all have tea and crumpets? Yeah. I'm a coffee guy, to be fair. I prefer coffee. Crumpets are unreal though.
Yeah.
Can you say JT? Is that your name? Yeah, JT. Scott H. Peace sign.
Oh, happy days. But also, I was going back into that the crumpets thing. Funny thing at work today, some guy drops off a load of crumpets for us for nothing. He just shut up. Just like, here's some crumpets.
Wasn't this guy, was it?
No, well, we never know. We haven't got a lot of crumpets today.
American TJ, I fear Quinn Ewers will be utter trash. I fear you might be right, sir.
Yeah, I mean, again, like we say,
you never know.
It showed.
You do never know, and I get it. But
I mean, when you're going into the start of this year, your best prospects coming off the board were Quinn Ewers, Carson Beck, and you're looking at Cam Ward and Shador all going top first round everything, and then Carson Beck obviously transfers to Miami to replace Cam Ward after leaving Georgia. Quinn Ewers dropped a little bit. He didn't play great. Obviously, he got injured. Arch Manning came in for a few games early on in the season.
Oh God.
He played pretty well, but obviously Quinn Ewers was last year. He could have gone to another school. I think it was estimated something like his NIL deal. He was looking at an $8 million NIL deal if he stayed at Texas, and he went to the NFL and he's only getting $800,000.
Rough. The thing is with guys like Quinn Ewers and like kind of, we'll call them post-Shador picks, right? Post-Shador picks, right? So guys that are going in like 6th and 7th round this year, and I've said it before, because the quality isn't anywhere near it. Like I think they're at least a round behind this year. Guys like that, I don't think will be drafted in previous years. So if I'm saying so, by my argument, is that Cam Ward wouldn't have went in the first round last year.
Yeah, I get that.
So let's say this year's class would have started the second round, and it would have kind of had like that.
Yeah, no, I get that. I get what you're saying, but again, you never know, because obviously the quarterback bias. Everyone, like you said, it's nice to draft a quarterback every year or two just to try and help fill that spot, because you never know when there's going to be a gem. But I get what you're saying. I mean, you look at like some of the players though, like Javier Restrepo. He's Miami's all-time receiving yards leader in the school program. He goes undrafted.
Yeah.
Just because he's 5'10" and maybe a little bit slow at 4'6".
Yeah.
But then you look at some of the players, like Edelman wasn't a 4'6". I think he was maybe a 4'4", 4'5" kind of guy. But same height, same skill sets.
We took a receiver.
Kyle Hamilton.
No, undrafted free agent.
All right.
And I can't remember his name, but he's electric. But he played like D3 or something.
Yeah, it happens. Like you can find.
He's electric. You're gonna have to crack about something while I find it.
Yeah, so like I feel like the Restrepo one was a bit of an insult. I mean, yeah, there were better wide receivers out there, but to go undrafted when it's coming towards the end of it and he's a leading all-time receiver for Miami. I mean, yeah, I think he was there for 4 or 5 years, but he still played well. He made good plays. He had good separation. So I think the Titans have picked up a decent little gem there, something that can fill that slot. Because if you've already at the Titans, if you've got Treylon Burks, I think he'll be back in. Calvin Ridley, if you put a Restrepo in that slot, he should get open. And obviously Cam Ward's already got that connection with him.
Yeah.
So this will be interesting to see, but yeah, I get what you're saying in the fact that.
See, I like that, drafting a quarterback and taking one of his weapons with
Yeah.
him. I was a big Tez Walker guy last year because he was Drake's guy in North Carolina.
Yeah.
I don't actually think I've seen him play this year,
No.
but give a guy a rookie quarterback, someone they're familiar with. You know. Yeah, there's arguments for and against, isn't there?
Yeah.
There's arguments for and against.
That's it, yeah. But again, going back onto the Dolphins for Guy, I don't know. It's going to be interesting. Again, that division at the moment is currently being ran by the Bills. So.
For now.
For now, yeah.
For now.
We know that division's currently being run by the Bills into the ground. So I don't really see. It's a fight for second and third, pretty much.
I'm seeing a lot of like early, like they do like they rank the teams.
Oh yeah, all that.
A lot of the early ones have the Dolphins and the Jets below us there. Which I'm not saying it's right, but it is right.
You never know. Obviously, Mike Vrabel's first time as head coach could make a big difference compared to
I can't find
how. God, I can't remember his name now. Who's your head coach? Jared Mayo.
No,
could
Mike
make
Vrabel.
No, Jared Mayo was last year.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
So obviously having a head coach whose first time head coaching isn't in the NFL could make a big difference. I think did I not see him something like he's in pads or something hitting players or something like that.
Oh yeah, he gets involved
and
with
he'd like to find out
and
stuff like that during like the interviews, like pre-draft interviews and stuff like that, which is good to see. But
what's nice with Mike Vrabel is we were kind of all rooting for Jerome Mayer last year because he's
ex-player,
first round pick for the Patriots, offensive rookie of the year, Super Bowl winner,
defensive rookie of the year.
Defensive rookie of the year. Sorry, I apologise. and you root for him. But there was a lot of things like, this is a rookie head coach.
Yeah.
Interviews and stuff, you're like, oh. Especially when you used to Bill for 20 odd years that never said anything. And Gerard Mayo came out and just told things that were going on in the locker room that shouldn't have ever seen the air, and told everyone that we're going to burn a load of cash and spend a load of money, which we didn't, so then it burned him on the arse. And threw players under the bus, threw coaches under the bus, and just obviously rookie mistakes. Whereas Vrabel's come in and his interviews he gives the answer and it's educated, but he doesn't give too much away and he doesn't say anything stupid. Like from his introductory press conference, you're like, he's a head coach. And you can tell he's a head coach just because of the way he answers questions. And I think if you look at the Titans, everyone responded well to him. Like, he took the Titans to a decent position when he was their coach there. I'm excited for it. I'm looking forward to it, but we'll wait and see.
Right, let's start getting through these drafts because we keep getting sidetracked.
I know, we've not actually even started the drafts.
But yeah, the Dolphins, I think, at the moment it's a race for second place between the Jets, the Patriots, and the Dolphins.
Yeah, I honestly do believe that we'll be there or thereabouts.
Yeah.
Right. We're not going to be a 4-win team next year. I think the floor's probably 6 or 7. I think the ceiling is like
11 or 12.
Maybe 9 or 10. I'd love 11 or 12. It depends. Look, anything could happen from now until like week 1. You never know.
Oh yeah.
But I think the offense we have now, because we kind of addressed tackle. Hopefully, Will Campbell can do it.
Yeah.
We've got an experienced tackle at right tackle, Morgan Moses. We've got Bradbury at centre from, I believe, the Steelers or Ravens. I can't remember where he came from.
Vikings.
Sorry.
Bradbury from the Vikings, the centre.
No, is it Garrett Bradbury? I can't remember his first name. And then your tackles, Michael Onwenu on the right side, and then anyone of Player Robinson, close range. What's his face that we drafted? Griffin, the centre.
Oh yeah.
He could play. I think our offensive lines are looking a lot more healthy. We've picked up Stephon Diggs. He's already running routes, which is crazy. There's videos of him running routes on a tournament scale and that. It's nuts. Matt Collins, more experience. And obviously Kyle Williams, electric. I think the offense on the whole looks better this year, and it should do. We addressed everything we needed to in the draft, but I think there's every chance if we can get 800 to 1,000 yards out of Stephon Diggs, I'll be absolutely buzzing.
Yeah,
I'll be absolutely buzzing.
Right, let's get into these picks before we end up rambling.
Right. Well, tell you what, because we've been going for a bit, should we just pick some of the teams that we liked the most? Because we're not going to get through all 32 because we've been going for 40 minutes.
That's fine. We can just do this and then end on a couple of stuff.
Right, we'll go Cowboys.
Okay.
Right, because
I'm a Cowboys fan,
Because you're the Cowboys. Let's just find them. Denver, Dallas. Right, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 picks. 3 in the 7th, 2 in the 5th, none in the 4th, and then 1 in each. Tyler Booker, guard in the first round.
I mean, like people said, it's a bit of a reach. I agree. But again, he was one of the top guards.
He was the best guard on the board, I think, wasn't he?
Well, I think it was a bit between them. It was a bit between
Unless
Zabel.
it's one of
A few people had Zabel there from North Dakota State.
Seahawks.
But no, I like Booker. Obviously played at Alabama. He was a good run blocker, which is something we've needed, and it's a nice replacement there for Zach Martin, who's just left, which is exactly what you want. Again, it becomes no longer a best player on the board who you want to a player that's going to fit and plug into a play into that situation there, which is what you need. Obviously, we passed on Golden and other receivers that a lot of people wanted, but I like it. It fortifies the line.
Yeah, I mean, there was arguments that you were going to go running back. Again, you went 5th round and 7th.
Yep.
But again, if you've got a decent offensive line, it kind of negates the need for like a superstar.
Running back. Yeah, 3 yards of carry is all you need.
Yeah. 2nd round edge, Donovan, can't pronounce his name.
Ezeraku.
Can't pronounce his name.
Ezeraku.
BC, go
Yep.
Eagles.
Absolute steal, I think.
Yeah, I had him, I think, first round. I had him as one of the top 32 players in the draft,
Yeah.
I think.
I think, again, him being at Boston College was why a few people maybe overlooked that. But I think he was. I like the type. I think he's 6'3", long arms. He's got good bend rip ability to get past the tackle
man,
to get
electric off the line, man.
He's quick as well.
Yeah, he is.
So him
He is.
paired up with Parsons is an edge threat nightmare.
Yeah, it's the same thing again. Like, if you've got a bit of a strength, why not just make that?
Yeah,
Hang your
exactly.
hat on it. Like,
Exactly.
just pass rush. Like, you don't really need. If you can be that good at pass rushing, it negates the need for like superstar DBs.
Yep.
And vice versa. If you're a lockdown team, you don't really need to rush the
Yeah.
passer. I don't mind the approach at all.
Yep.
That being said, cornerback, Siobhan Rebel Jr.
Yeah,
in
I like that again.
the third round.
That was another potential projected first round pick there. If it hadn't been for the injury in his last year, then he was up there with
Yeah.
Barron, and same with Will Johnson. He dropped a little bit because of it,
Yeah.
but it was a good pick. Tall, he's good.
Yeah, man, I agree. Linebacker Shamar James.
Yeah, reached up a little bit for Shamar James, but again, if you think about it, we picked up Jack Sandhorn. We picked up Kenneth Murray from the Chargers. We've got Devon Overshawn coming back from an injury. Yeah, when he was electric last year.
Yeah, he was.
He was phenomenal
he was.
going into it. So,
was.
it's just another thing there, another fit. Quite young linebacker core, really. Everyone's under 30, a couple of years in the league. But again, I'll have to see what happens there. But I do like it. He's a bit undersized, but he's really good in, it seems, coverage sets
Right. Okay.
from Florida. So,
Well, this is it though. Like, if you've got your front four, just dominating anyways, you may as well drop your linebackers into
Yeah.
coverage. Worth noting as well, B-Dog, you said you reached. He was picked at number 152. Your next pick was 204.
yeah, we
So,
traded
yeah.
traded a fifth to get up.
You had to kind of pick where you were at, regardless of who was there.
Going into it now, running back.
Offensive tackle, Ajani Cornelius, Oregon.
Oh, that was the last pick.
That was round number 6.
Was it?
It was.
Oh yeah, you're right. It was, yeah. We missed out on Jaden Blue,
I have missed. Oh yeah, sorry, I missed one.
Texas running back.
I do apologise.
Electric.
Yeah, I apologise. I did.
I thought he was in that room when I don't know if you've seen the photograph, but I've seen it where it was like the picture of the Texas running backs 3 years ago,
Oh,
and
that's
it was Bijan, Jonathan Brooks, Jalen Blue. No, it was Cleon Johnson and can't remember the Texas running back now, but all four of them running backs were taken in space of 2 years, which was phenomenal. But again, Jaden Blue, I think he's exactly what we've needed since Pollard's gone. It's
Yeah.
it's that home run speed,
Yeah. Hey, fair enough.
which I like.
Fair enough.
And then Cornelius.
Yep, Cornelius next. Offensive tackle. Obviously, we're getting
Oregon.
to the lower ends of the draft.
Yeah, but again, right tackle there, it's a good thing. Terrence Steele, I think he was a UDFA, I believe. So that's someone else there to help at that tackle position. Obviously, Tyler Gurdon, we got last year, first round, should I say. So, again, we're trying to bolster that Great Wall of Dallas that was so good in the 90s that we need back.
I think what was so amazing about this draft was Jerry just didn't go pure senile.
I think it was a lot of...
I think you picked you picked for need, but didn't reach for need.
Yeah, it was good. I enjoyed the draft for a change.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
Which is interesting because I feel the same. Like, I enjoyed the draft, but we both took offensive linemen in the first round.
Yeah.
And still managed to enjoy the draft, which is cool. Round 7, I'll name all 3. Defensive tackle, Jay Toyer.
Yeah, Jay Toyer.
Phil Martha and Tommy Aking Besotti.
Yeah, again, I like Phil Maffa. I'm also a Clemson fan, so having Phil Maffa come to the Cowboys was a nice 1-2 punch with that Jaden Blue, Phil Maffa, because Phil Maffa's your power back. He's going to get you those tough,
Thunder and lightning
yards.
backs. Yeah.
Which is what a lot of teams are doing. It seems to be working. Look at Najee Harris and Jalen Warren. It's exactly what it was.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Thunder and lightning, man. In the chat, Just Deezy. Great name. Boys, who do you think had the best draft? Kind of touched on it at the start.
Yeah.
Did we differ? I had a top 3.
You had a top 3. I said I liked our draft. I liked the Giants draft.
Yeah.
don't know. 'Cause, to be fair, it was quite a good draft for the majority of
For
teams.
a lot of teams,
For
yeah.
everyone going into the draft saying this is the worst draft class going, every team was like, oh, you know, I'm quite happy with that pick. Every draft pick you were like, I'm pretty happy. The Chargers, I like the Chargers draft as well.
Chargers draft, you purposely not saying that, all right. The top, as a fact, the top 3 drafts were the Dallas Cowboys, as B-Dog correctly said. The Seattle Seahawks had a great draft, and we had a great draft, the New England Patriots. Because I know more about our draft, we got great value for most of our picks and managed to cover all of our holes, really. Great draft. But like you said, B-Dog, you could argue that the Giants had a great draft. The Chargers,
Like I said, it was a pretty even,
the Cards,
well-rounded, good draft.
The Falcons, I like the Falcons draft, despite only having 5 picks. Plenty of decent drafted teams. It was a lower quality draft as lots of good players, but so little elite players.
Yeah, I get that.
He also said, as a Giants fan, I think we cooked again. Yep, sorry, didn't see a comment before.
I agree
before
with you.
B-Dog said.
I think it was.
But yeah, it was a low quality draft in terms. So I'll try and use my hands as like a
scale.
So like it was a lower quality draft in terms of elite blue chip guys. There was less of them, but there was more of like the next level.
Yeah.
Like good
tier
starters,
2.
like starters.
Tier 2 and tier 3 kind of.
So
players,
I think this is why we're seeing so many teams that have went, oh, we had a really good draft.
Yeah.
Because that tier 2
yeah.
starters is probably
Pick
basically,
4.
let's face it, from pick 4 through to the
Round 5.
third round. Well, you could argue at certain positions, definitely tackle, defensive tackle.
Yeah.
Edge rusher, you could argue that absolutely.
Cornerbacks, a lot of cornerbacks fell really late as well.
So I think in terms of like blue chip guys, yes, there wasn't as many as normally you would see because there wasn't any quarterbacks.
Yeah.
There wasn't any wide receivers other than Travis Hunter if you got him.
Territory McMillan.
He's the next level guy.
Yeah.
So we said at the time, blue chip guys, Abdul Carter, Travis Hunter, and Ashton Genty. And they were the 3 blue chip guys in the whole class. But after that, there was a decent 2 or 3 rounds of starting players.
Yeah.
And that's why so many teams, like you just said, B-Dog, had a really good draft. Just easy again. Like round 2 to 4 wasn't really a drop-off. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly what we're saying. So where you see a class of 10, 15, like, well, not even 10, 15, 5, 10, like, studs, everyone's trading up, using draft picks, get up, like...
All you have to do is look at last year's draft.
Yeah.
That's all you have to do. Compare the 2 drafts, and you've got your ebony and ivory right then and there.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So, yeah, a lot of people, it was a crap draft. We said it ourselves because it's an easy thing to say, oh, this draft's crap. Because you look for, like, exciting, wow, that's an animal. But in terms of, like, decent starters, I think that the class was brimful of it.
Oh yeah,
brimful of it. Just easy. Appreciate the input, mate. Keep them coming.
Keep coming, man.
We'll basically read everything out that gets put in there. So if you've got a question, you've got a comment, go for it. Mum, nope, not Mum. Guy again. Thank you, Finn's Opinion Nation. Do you reckon this year's picks being lower quality is down to the draftees being in college during the COVID years and missing games?
Potential?
There's a potential. It depends. Yeah, you could argue that. But I think with last year and next year apparently being so high, is it just... I mean, I don't know.
It's essentially like a shadow. That's what it is.
It's a good point.
This like you can say, last year was a shiner light. Next year, everyone's saying it's going to be a shiner light. Everyone just seems to have cast a shadow on this draft because last year, you had Caleb Williams, Drake May, Jaden Daniels, Bo Nix, JJ McCarthy, Penix. You had all these unbelievable quarterbacks and defensive players going here, and then next year, Marvin Harrison, Adunze, and then you're looking at next year again, and you're already looking at potential for Arch Manning. Then you've got a Drew Aller at Penn State. You've got more quarterbacks in this draft that are looking at top 2 rounds than you did this year.
Yeah.
as well as some good running backs in it from like that year as
Couple
well.
of tight ends.
Couple of tight ends as well coming up.
Tight ends coming in. There's one guy I've got my eye on. Tell you what, right?
And then the draft class after that, again, you're looking at your Jeremiah Smith, your Ryan Williams wide receivers, and that's going to be your big class there, depending on when they come into it. So it's people are already looking ahead and looking behind instead of focusing on this year and realising this might not have been the draft class that you're going to talk about, but this draft class might pull me a player that I'm going to enjoy to watch for the next 10 years. It's going to be a plug and play player.
Yeah, exactly. This is what we were just saying as well. Like, any other class is great for, like, if you're picked in the top 5.
Yeah.
I mean, I would have loved that this year, obviously, because we were 4. But for the teams that are picking 15, 20, 25, you're going, great. I'm still getting a really, really good football player, like the back end.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find the name of the guy that...
The free agent you just signed.
No, tight end for next year. Really like him. I'm not going to be able to find his name. I honestly don't know. So basically got recommended on one of the podcasts that I watch, obviously a Patriots one. And I done the thing of, I'll go and watch some tape.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh damn, let's go. But I can't find him, and I'm not going to search for too long because it's rude. So I hope that answers the question, Guy. I think it's kind of along the same lines of what we've been talking about anyways. I think this year's draft's been done a bit hard by, but we can look forward to all the sexy new toys next year.
Oh, of course we can.
With next year.
It's not even a year now, is it? What is it now? It's only 4 months away.
Oh, the season?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I know. Let's go. Right, if you don't mind, B-Dog, I will move on to the Patriots draft class. If in the chat, if there's any teams you want us to go through round 1 through 7 of the draft picks, we'll have a little crack. Get your teams in the chat and we'll have a little crack because I'm enjoying this. Right, the New England Patriots. Again, one of the best drafts, I believe. Decent number of players. We've got the most draft picks next year as well.
Have you?
Yep. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11 players. Round 1, Will Campbell, it was always going to be.
Yep.
Needed a tackle, took the best tackle. Simple as
that.
that. You can't argue with that. Boston, get down. Sorry, the dog's up on the table.
Yes, he is a Patriots fan who's called his dog Boston.
Yeah. You've got 2, man. There's an argument that he's got smaller arms, but by a millimetre, like a bit
this
of
small
an
arms
inch,
thing, you've been going on about it for months, and it's doing my nutting.
Oh, honestly.
Just let the man play football. He can clearly play football.
I know, man. I've been listening to him for a year now. We were supposed to take him this time next year, but they were talking about it last year.
Yeah.
They've been talking about arms for a year, man. This time last year, though, his arms were half an inch shorter. Congratulations, you grew half an inch in your arms. Travion Henderson, running back in the second round. Loved that pick.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely loved that pick. Wouldn't have had us for a running back till probably later on, to be honest, but it probably shows how much faith they've got in Ramondre.
Yeah.
Beast receiving running back, though, which is a Josh McDaniels offense every day of the week.
It's just a James White pick, isn't it?
Yeah, basically, he's electric as well. Probably the best running back in the class. Round 3, pick number 69, nice. Kyle Williams, again, what we were saying before, like, I can't remember who we were on stream at the time. Oh, maybe earlier on. I don't know. Electric, absolutely electric. His release, I believe, was graded the best in the class. His release off the line is nuts. Again, we've got a million slot guys. This guy can line up slot, outside.
Just what you need.
Motion. No, he could line up outside.
Just play a wing tee. That's what you need to do. Is play wing tee football.
Unreal at screens.
No.
Unreal at screens. Basically, I'm hoping that's to knock it out of the park because we've not had pace and the ability to catch for a long time. I think he had 5 drops last year, which not ideal. Not everyone can be like me and just catch everything all the time. I had to ring it up, man. 2 weeks on the bounce. Jared Wilson, centre from Georgia.
Yeah.
This was crazy because he was early round 2. Like,
quite a few players.
Should have been but this is it. This is when, like, when all the positions match up so well at being of the same level,
Yeah.
you just take the position you need.
Yeah.
Because everyone's good. Whereas usually you go, well, he's the best player, so we'll take him.
Yep.
And so all these quality players are I mean, third round, picking them at 95.
Yep.
Number 4, so my least favourite pick out of our draft, Craig Woodson.
Yep.
Good at tracking the ball in the air, not great at kind of sticking to coverage, not getting sucked in by run, play action, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Interesting pick because he's a strong safety, whereas we've kind of got them.
Kyle Duggar. Is he playing again?
Kyle Duggar, yeah, he's back. Jabril Peppers back. Interesting pick at that pick, but again, if you're just going to sit him back there, maybe he's your nickel guy, big nickel, who knows. Joshua Farmer, DT, bolster the line. Our defensive line's going to be crazy next year.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my god, it's nuts. Braden Swinson, edge, again.
LSU, that was a good one.
Yeah, twitchy outside guy. We needed edge. I was ready to take edge in the second round if we weren't picking a wide receiver. Yeah. I was like, well, if we're not picking a wide receiver, it's going to be
because Matt Green was still on the board at that point.
Yeah, I know, but since knowing all the thing, we were never going to take him. Kicker, Andres Borregales. He can make a kick from 70 yards.
Can I do it in a game, though?
This is the problem, isn't it? But how nuts is that? He's made a kick from 70 yards. Not like, again, in a game, but he's got a leg on him, basically.
Call me up when he's Brandon Aubrey.
I think he's on... He was from like the UFL or something.
He was indeed. Same team as Turpin as well, I believe.
Oh, was it?
I believe
so. Offensive tackle, Marcus Bryant. I believe he's a right tackle.
Yeah.
I don't believe he's a left tackle. But you've got 3 7th round picks. You may as well just double down.
Yeah, 100%.
Long snapper, Julian Ashby. Look, from all accounts, he is the best long snapper in the draft. But do you have to draft him?
Well, I thought, was
pick
it
him up
not you guys that coached the linebacker to be a long snapper?
I don't know. Our previous long snapper, Joe Cardona, was a tight end.
Oh, right. Well, I know there was a team that they decided, instead of drafting a long snapper, have a third, fourth, on the sheet, linebacker learn to snap and have him charge downfield to make the tackle.
Oh my god! I don't know.
And that was their thing. They had a linebacker long snapping, and he would go downstairs. He would go downfield and probably make most of the tackles on the return.
I've not heard that.
Yeah.
Damn. Hey, special teams is it's a game with itself, man. Finally, Kobe Minor, cornerback.
Oh no! I just remembered the use of the tweet that they put out.
Oh
the Patriots.
Oh no!
When you picked Kobe Minor and it got deleted, you had to delete it.
Oh no! I've not seen this. What? Oh no!
So
I could only imagine.
Obviously, with the last pick, they've just put a minor.
Oh for God!
It was swiftly deleted.
Fun fact: he was Mr. Irrelevant.
He was, yeah.
He was Mr. Irrelevant this year.
I can't believe that Kobe Bryant didn't get drafted.
Kobe Bryant.
Kobe Bryant.
Thing is, was there not Kobe Bryant last year as well?
I can't remember.
Or the year before?
I can't remember off the top of my
I'm
head.
sure he plays for like the Eagles or Vikings or something.
Right, it's a popular name these days.
Well, apparently so. Aye. Again, if you've got any teams in the chat that you want us to kind of go through and kind of see what we thought of the players, if we knew them, obviously in the later rounds. I think for like the first 2 or 3 rounds we were good.
Yeah.
Like I think we were kind of the later guys, but some of, like we said, this draft class was so kind of deep at that decent level.
Oh yeah.
Some of like the 4th, 5th round guys, you're like, oh my God, is he still there?
Yep.
Obviously, Shudder aside. Ross Waterman in the chat. If you talk about names, Colston Loveland has to be one of the best for this year, or name-wise or player-wise, because name-wise is decent as well. Player-wise, I had him as my favourite tight end in the class.
He did, I'll give you that. And he also went to your favourite team, didn't he?
No, yeah, I got made fun of because Simon was like, you've got Colston Loveland far too high, because I had him like top 10. And I believe he did go top 10,
He
didn't
went
he?
to the Bears, number 10, didn't he?
Yeah, 10 exactly. I just liked him more. He was the most can block and catch tight end. And
Yeah.
call me old fashioned, right? But I want my tight end to block, right? Isaiah Likely's and things like that are fun. Like having an extra wide receiver, Mike
Yeah.
Gesicki is like, yeah, they're great. But I want my tight end to block someone and then get open.
Oh, you're not like the Tyler Warren. You don't want your tight end to play quarterback jumping over the line of scrimmage at 6'6".
Wildcat, yeah. I see that as well. Because this is the argument as well, isn't it? Like tight end, a wide receiver or the fullback.
Yeah.
For me, they're on the offensive line and they catch the ball. Let's have a look at the Seahawks because I really like their.
They're one of my favourite picks.
Amawari.
No?
Oh, I'm looking forward to this. It's not Graves Able, is it?
No.
Because he's
No, it's not Graves Able.
on the most part, my top 50 guys went there or thereabouts top 50. Graves Able wasn't in my top 50.
No.
And he went 18 overall. That's one I whiffed.
Yep.
I stunk that one out. Ross Warman in the chat, I'm a Patriots fan. A tight end has to do both. Hey, you and me both, mate. Tight ends is what we do, man.
Ah, you should put a linebacker at tight end. You did that for 11 touchdowns over the Mike Vrabel's career, didn't you?
Only ever caught touchdowns.
You did, yeah.
Only ever caught touchdowns. Because this is the argument, not to jump on with Ross in the chat because he's a Patriots fan, but this is the argument I always have with Kelsey. Like, Kelsey's probably the best receiving tight end of all time.
Yeah.
Like, I get that.
It's between him and Gonzalez.
But he's not a tight end.
Yeah.
He's a receiver that lines up at tight end.
Yeah.
You seen it last year, man. He was getting embarrassed because he can't get open. Like, you couldn't block anyways, and now he can't get open. It's not a good look. But yeah, I'm with you, man. Block and then get open. Right, the Seattle Seahawks. Pick number 18, first round. Guard, Graves Able. Again, embarrassing for me because I had him outside of my top 50.
Dakota.
You what, sorry?
North Dakota.
North Dakota. Yes, you know the teams, well done. This was an unreal pick. Nick Emanwari.
I do like that 6'3" safety.
Damn, what a pick. Yeah.
Is it South Carolina he's from?
He is from
Yeah.
South Carolina. Damn, the man's not even got a phone in his hand or anything. It's crazy.
You pointed at me like they can't see me.
Well, I don't know how it's going to work. Oh, that way, I guess. I don't know what's going on. Right, 2. Elijah Arroyo, talking about tight ends. Underrated one for
One
me.
of Cam Ward's favourite targets.
Yeah, well, yeah, man. Underrated for me. I liked him.
Again, he's that vertical threat.
He is. But as like so they picked him number 2. I think I had him 3rd round. But
He picked with the second.
they picked him on the second.
No.
Number 50, they picked him. But this is kind of after the tight end side.
Loveland, Warren,
Yeah, they started slipping off the board.
Mason Taylor.
Round 3, number 92, Jalen Milroe. What a pick. We already went over it. If this guy gets coached on how to read defences and throw the ball on time, who knows?
Yeah.
Like, who knows? Because on the ground, he's electric. I think he's going to be the best. In 5 years' time, if you look back at this class, you're going to go, Jalen Milroe was the best one out of them, in my opinion. But I like watching Alabama.
It's funny, he's a Boston College fan.
Yeah, I like Alabama. The Patriots have a history of signing Alabama players. Didn't have a round 4 pick. 3 round 5s and 3 round 7s. Sandwich round 6 pick. Riley Mills, defensive line.
Right.
College?
Not a clue.
No idea. Loser. Again, another need for basically the drafts that I think have done well. Have just addressed the needs where they fell to them and not overreach to them. This is the same thing here. Round 5 again. Torrey Horton, wide receiver.
I do like Torrey Horton.
It's the same thing again though. Your DK's gone. We need another wide receiver.
Yep, go and get one.
Go and get one. Interesting pick number round 5, number 175 again. Fullback, Robbie Oots.
Hey, People say the fullback's dying. I love a fullback.
I love seeing fullbacks score.
I love a fullback.
Well, earlier on in off-season, Kyle Juszczyk had a contract
Aye.
dispute, and I was like, Mike Vrabel's all over that.
Yep.
I bet you he wants a fullback. We didn't go in for him, or maybe we did, but didn't get anywhere near him.
No, I do love a fullback. There's nothing better than a nice run.
Yeah, I completely agree. Maybe we just... Well, I know you're old school, actually. I know you're old-fashioned. Jesus Christ, your favourite football was the 80s. You just started watching until 2010
No, I like.
or something?
What is it? Put the Razorbacks offense in. What is it? The 4 in the backfield.
Yeah, man. Offensive guard, Bryce Cable Dewey, Kansas. Again, I see. They took a guard in the first round, I had them taking a tackle. They doubled up on offensive guard before they went tackle.
Yep.
Which was a surprise to me, but basically, because they take a tackle later on, they've took 3 offensive line players.
Yeah. That's
perfect. You can't argue with it, man. You can't argue with it. Round 7, Damian Martinez.
My favourite.
Love him.
One of my favourite picks.
Animal. Absolute animal. Just a massive dude. Like, he's a beast.
He's just very patient. He's
Yeah,
he's your 5.5, 6 yards average carry back.
Yeah.
That's all you need him for.
I love him. As like a late round guy, but this is it shows how like deep the running back class is.
Oh, yeah.
Again, I know we're repeating ourselves, but it really does. Also, offensive tackle Mason Richmond, Iowa, again tackle. Wide receiver Ricky White III.
Oh, UNLV.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I do like Ricky White III. Like,
Go on, talk about Ricky White.
his receiver who plays at UNLV.
Good call.
No, he's not too bad. You know, his average side at 6 foot. It was a bit of a deep threat for them. I think it's a perfect now to have that Jackson Smith and Jigba in your slot, Ricky White on your outside.
Well, this is it, man. You lose because DK was like a 2nd or 3rd round pick.
Yeah.
He wasn't like a 1st round pick. They've obviously got a ability of coaching wide receivers. They're obviously comfortable taking later on ones and coaching.
And who did DK Metcalf go to college with?
I don't know.
AJ Brown.
Oh, well, there you go.
Both at Ole Miss.
Oh, there you go. In the chat, a bit of a non-draft question, but I'll give you a for it. Harlem the 7th. Oh, Harlem 7, whichever one it is. How's football even work? I got to learn the rules. I can't tell if this is an American trying to take the piss out of us, or if this is someone that genuinely doesn't really know the rules.
We're not the best to explain it realistically right now, are we? It's gonna be another.
You
video.
get 4 attempts to throw the ball 10 yards. If you make it, you get another 4 attempts to throw it a further 10 yards, and so on and so forth until you either score or don't. The other team has to stop you really quickly. Ross Waterman, how does a starting Alabama quarterback drop to the 3rd round? Because he can't particularly throw the ball very well or read the field very well. Basically is the answer. That fullback was a tight end with Alabama, I'm sure. So this is the argument. Tight ends are the receivers or fullbacks. Apparently the Seahawks think the fullbacks. But again, tight ends that can block.
It's like the Cowboys though. We picked up Hunter Lipke a couple of years ago, and he was a tight end / fullback in college, and he does a bit of both, catching up the backfield.
I was a tight end until I met you, and I'm a wide receiver. Oh,
What can I say?
good stuff.
It's not 12 inches, but it smells like a foot.
Your parents are watching this. Right, B-Dog, who else do you like? Should we have a look at the Giants? Because you mentioned the Giants a few times. We're going over what we normally do.
We'll do the Giants and then we'll.
I genuinely thought
we'll come back to this another time.
This will be a shorter stream because we'll have a bit of an overview of the draft, and we won't have too much to really go into.
Someone went off on the Patriots for 20 minutes.
I did not. I've purposely not done that. Yeah, so the Giants, before we wrap up and leave, really quickly before we do this, if you're new here, follow us, subscribe if you're on YouTube, like the video on either TikTok or YouTube, comment, do all them things, share us with your friends. Really appreciate it. We still don't know how gifts work, so I'm not going to really ask for that. Cause we keep asking for gifts, so we get them, and I don't really know how it works. So yeah, you can if you want. I think we have like 40 odd p or something.
Oh,
We're laughing.
retiring.
Yeah, yeah, well, we're making the big bucks. Right, New York Giants, the NFL have them graded A. Yep, fair enough. Pick 1, round number 3. Obviously, after the
Best
Browns
defensive player on the
traded
board.
back with the Jags, who took Travis Hunter, Abdul Carter.
Now, if you just think about being a quarterback, having to worry about Sexy Dexy coming at you from the front and Abdul Carter coming at you from the side.
Kayvon Thibodeau
I
there
hate-
somewhere as well on the sideline.
and Brian Burns coming in as well.
Oh, he asked for number 56, though, didn't he?
I did.
What are you doing? It is 56, isn't it?
Yeah, LT. Look, don't ask, you don't get. I mean,
I think-
Warren Moon just brought out number 1.
Yes,
out of
but
the time.
he offered to do that, though.
Yeah, I
you
get
cannot
that.
ask. You cannot ask. Like, do you know what, though? Like that 56. That 56 looks sweet.
Tough.
You can't do that, man. You can't do that.
No, I get you.
Round number 1, obviously they traded back in. Jackson Dart. I love this pick.
I do.
I really loved it.
I rated Jackson Dart coming out of it.
I love the pick. I wouldn't have hated if they'd, because it's easy to go, haha, shoulda. I wouldn't have hated if they traded back in and took shoulda,
No,
because
neither would I.
the consensus generally was that he was the second
Yeah.
quarterback in the draft. You get one of the best 2 players in the draft, the third pick, and then you still get the quarterback.
That you want as well, yeah.
But I don't mind the Jackson Dart pick
No.
at all. His combine was horrendous though. Jesus wept, have you seen it?
I have, but to me, the combine is just
God.
the combine's bragging rights, in my opinion. It's nothing more than bragging rights.
Yeah, well, yeah, I know, but like the one where like so he rolls out and it's on a slant, and he kind of does like the Jordan jumping man like thing and throws it side arm. It's like watching you at football. But no, and he's 15 yards ahead of like the receiver, and there's one on like he's on a comeback on the sideline, and the receiver runs probably 10-15 yards, cuts back, and it's wild. You're like, Jesus Christ. I mean, I like watching him in game, but that wasn't pretty.
That's it. I think in game it's settled. Yeah, I think it's
It's
hard.
just natural and it
It's
comes
hard.
out.
It's hard to do that
Yeah.
in that situation. I think.
Yeah, no, I agree. Ross in the chat, we'll get to that in a second, mate. He's on the list, round 5. Round number 3, Darius Alexander. D tackle again. You're talking about defensive line, man. Whoa, whoo! I would like to have seen some kind of addressing of the receiver core,
Yeah.
but what we said before, like if you're gonna pick something to just hang your hat on, why not just have a
Unbelievable
unreal
defense. Yep.
Yeah, like you know, offense sells tickets.
Defense wins championships.
Yeah, man. I mean, not for the Giants because they stink.
Hey, this time.
No, they stink, man. Round 4 was my guy,
It was, wasn't
Cam
it?
Scatterboo.
Cam Scatterboo.
Wasn't a secret. I loved him going in, man. I absolutely loved. This was a great pick. I was gutted that he went to them.
I
Because
wasn't.
at this point we weren't watching it together, obviously round 4, and I was sat watching it. I was like, oh, because I really just hate the Giants.
You just hit every team.
No, I've got certain teams that I hate for certain reasons.
Okay.
All right, the Jets, the Bills, and the Dolphins I hate because you have to. I've got teams that I hate for certain reasons.
Okay.
But yeah, Cam Scatterby was my guy going in. Gutted. I mean, he got drafted, I'm sure.
Hey, look, we've got to go against him twice a year now for the next 3-4
true.
years.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. You'll still beat them. They suck. Right, Ross in the chat. Marcus Mbo. Or Mbao. Depends, I've heard it both ways. Mbo for me. Offensive tackle. Ross in the chat. Great pick, he says.
Yep. I think that's perfect to get on that right hand side.
Yeah, man. I mean, well, I feel like we're just repeating ourselves at this point, but the tackle class this year was crazy.
Again, like you said,
You're in
there
the
was no blue chip tackles going into it.
But there was plenty of good tackles.
But there was plenty of that wide, good sort of
Completely
scale.
agree. Absolutely agree. Couldn't agree more, if anything.
Oh.
Round number 7, obviously didn't have a 6th round pick. I forgot to mention they didn't have a 2nd round pick because they traded up for Jackson Dart. Thomas Fidon the second, or Fidon, depends how you like it. Tight end, Nebraska.
Yep.
This is another one. Tight end class was fairly decent. Later on, being honest, I don't know a lot about this guy. But tight end, I had them to take one fairly early on. And they didn't. But they've addressed another need.
Yep.
And
that's exactly what the draft's all about.
I can't say, oh, this is a knock it out the park guy because he should have been. I can't do that. I don't know enough about him. So unfortunately, I'm not gonna just bullshit and say that. Say that I do because I don't. Ross Waterman, he can play guard and tackle. Had some great stats at guard for pressures allowed, etc. Marcus and Bo, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
So basically a utility guy that can play
want.
right across the offensive line. Finally, round number 7, last pick, Corey Black, cornerback, Oklahoma State. Again, not sure, but cornerback looks like a position of need.
They've always had a bit of bad luck when it comes to cornerbacks, haven't they?
They look like they're just hanging the hat on defense.
Yeah.
No, if you're trying to rebuild, you may as well make one really good and then
fix the other one.
The other one after.
That's it. Like I said, most people are excited offensively for the next 2 years of draft. So
yeah, I agree. But Giants, grade A by the NFL. Out of interest, the Cowboys were given
A-, I think it was.
Was it A-? See, I really like your draft there. A-, and the Patriots were given, I think it might have been A- as well, you know. Just before them.
No, I can't remember. Can't remember what's Patriots.
Yeah, sorry, I forgot the alphabet for a second.
BANDWAGON.
Oh, we were B+, which is wrong.
It's a good thing you can't spell.
We done a video, a live stream just after the Super Bowl. We way too early predicted the playoff teams next year.
Yeah.
Do we do that again next week?
Not next week. No. Let's give it a little bit of time.
Let's get the draft. We'll see how it changes over time.
Because what's going to happen is we're going to do another one in a few weeks.
Exactly.
Let's get a couple of months of OTA. Let's get a couple of weeks of OTAs.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. I think that's fair.
Because otherwise, again, we're just going off the draft, and like you said,
oh no, he was shit actually.
Cam Ward could come out and be the next coming of Mike Vick, and you don't realise it.
Yeah, fair enough. Right before we get going, if you've got anything you want to bring up, mention, please put it in the chat. Questions, draft opinions, whatever you like.
Don't forget to mention the Discord.
Oh yes, the Discord chat. We currently have a Discord community that we've started. Basically, it's not as hot at this time of year because there's no football on.
Yep.
But when the football's on, we've got a few guys in there that, like-minded people that sit and talk about whichever games are on, Red Zone, any crack that's going on in the league. You're more than welcome to join us. Again, it is a little bit quiet this time of year, but give us a message on TikTok or on Instagram. I think the thing is just above me. Give us a message over there. We'll add you to the Discord. You can get involved with people that talk about football as well, because
happy days.
I know a lot of people that like football don't have a lot of friends that like football.
That's true.
That's how I was initially before I came to play. Really quickly, Moores, I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong, mate. Do you guys reckon DK regrets going to Pittsburgh? Don't get me started because it really pisses me off. I'm going to get started anyways. So the Patriots,
what are you doing, boys?
The Patriots went on DK Metcalf and he said, I want a big contract. Fine. I want to go somewhere that is winning and I want to go somewhere warm. Alright, so Patriots, I don't want to sign for you. We offered him a big contract, but I want the other two things. He wants to go somewhere warm and somewhere that's winning, so he went to Pittsburgh. Knob. Yeah, I think he probably is regretting it because he completely contradicted everything he said like a stupid prick. Moz is a Pats fan as well. I feel a struggle, mate. Thank you.
Oh God, they're all coming out the cracks now. That's it. Bloody hell, like
it's
rats.
right though. Like it's right. Like, oh yes, right. We've got all this money. We'll just throw it at receivers left and right. One comes out. Oh yes, we can get him. Now I want to go and win, and I want to go somewhere warmer. Fair enough. You can't argue with that. Steelers, you fucking kidding me? Yeah, but that's behind us. Again, if you've joined us for the first time, I really appreciate it.
Yep.
Please
Thanks, guys.
follow us. If you're on TikTok, follow us. We're here every week, every Thursday, same time, 7 o'clock. We always get the chat involved because basically everyone brings up things that we forgot about.
Yep, very true, very true.
And also basically is we rarely prepare anything.
True.
We don't really know what we're doing most of the time. But we like to just sit and crack about football, and other guys and girls that sit and crack about football as well, get in the chat. It makes it a better place. If you're on YouTube, subscribe. If you haven't got us on socials, they're above me, NerdyFL Pod at Instagram and TikTok. Other than that, we thank you very much. I think one more chat, 2 more chats.
Well, they're coming in now.
Sorry, I know.
It's all night.
I'm trying to leave one, but we proudly say we read everything out.
We do read
so
everything.
like, I don't want to go back on that. Moore's going to be catching balls from Mason Rudolph. What was he thinking? He's probably going to be catching balls from Karen Rodgers. But if I was the GM, he wouldn't be. But it probably is going to be that because they're waiting for him. Ross is replying to Moores. Has to be Aaron Rodgers going there, surely. Yep, absolutely agree. But again, follow us, subscribe, all them things, share us with your friends. I know a few of you has because a few of them have come in saying they've been added to chat by invite, which is cool. So
beautiful. Love to hear
appreciate
that,
that. Likes, gifts, however they work, do them, drop them before we go. Yeah, hopefully see you next week at the same time, guys. Really, really appreciate it, and thank you.